Good evening, America. While the mainstream media is busy chasing celebrities and monsters bearing down on Florida, Hurricane Milton isn't just another storm. It's a force of nature that's exposing the fragility of our infrastructure and the incompetence of our leaders. We're talking about 90-mile-per-hour winds, reports of up to 185-mile-an-hour winds bearing down right on Sarasota. Storm surges that could reshape Florida's coastline, and a political response that's been nothing short of pathetic. So buckle up, folks, because this is a story of nature's fury and human folly. And speaking of forces of nature, let's talk about something that's ravaging your skin faster than Milton is tearing through Florida: aging. After 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade. That's why I take this magic secret powder to rejuvenate my skin. Unlike typical supplements, this product combines the top 5 critical collagen types for skin health. It's formulated to reduce visible aging signs, wrinkles, and promote elasticity and hydration. Get it today at 51% off at healthwithgary.com. Plus, you get free VIP coaching, an ebook, and a 60-day guarantee. Don't let time hurricane through your skin. We thank our sponsors for keeping this show going, and of course, we thank you as well. Now, let's jump right into it here. Speaking of skin, have you seen those memes about Kamala's neck? No, she's not covering up her neck there. She's actually hiding her mouth as she is berating one of her staffers on a live broadcasted Zoom call. That's how my day began this morning when I got a text message from my buddy Tom McCullough. And he's like, dude, you got to check this out. Kamala was caught on a hot mic. And apparently they say her staffers were feeding her questions, and we got the full video, but you can see it here. She's like, "Oh," like pretending like we don't hear her. Come on, Kamala. She thinks we're all stupid. She thinks you're stupid. And speaking of thinking you're stupid, Kamala Harris invited camera crews to film her and the mayor of a city that's currently being devastated by a hurricane to record them having a phone call in the same style video that her campaign released of her call with the Obamas. Remember that call? Yeah, she just has a random phone call with the Obamas, and she's got 5 cameras all around her. Oh, wow, who's on the phone? No, we know who's on the phone. You know who's on the phone. Don't bullshit us, Kamala. So this is what she posted. This afternoon, I spoke with the Mayor Ken Welch. I let him know our administration stands with the people of St. Petersburg as they prepare for Hurricane Milton. Yeah. So I'm going to spare you the actual video because I don't really want to give her more airtime than she deserves. But she posted this on her official account, Vice President Kamala Harris. It wasn't a campaign account. But of course, she's trying to project this level of leadership from the vice president's office. When did you ever see a vice president take action like this? Ever? No. Vice presidents are basically paperweights. Sorry, Mr. Vance. I apologize. I'm not trying to demean your job, but, a lot of times they just sit in the back. You don't really see them do much, especially Kamala Harris. I mean, she's like number one with not doing much, not doing anything. But she's now finally, suddenly jumping into action, making these propaganda videos, posting them to her official account. Yeah, this is trying to serve as a campaign message, but she's using her official account, which is actually illegal. We got Elijah Schaefer. Now, he's down there in Florida. Everyone pray for Elijah and his family and his producers. They're right in the middle of it all right now. And he posted this video. My producer, Brian, sent this to me. This is the water getting sucked out of Tampa Bay by Hurricane Milton.
This is Tampa Bay. Look at this. All the water has run out of the bay. We just walked over here. Luis is shooting. We're along Bayshore Boulevard. Hopefully you can hear me. The water is gone, so it has been sucked out by Milton, which we suspected was going to happen. Our light's not bright enough to see how far out it goes, but I don't see any water for as far as...
Yeah, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. And now, the Trump War Room has been really active today. Kamala, who's been AWOL while she drinks on late night television and records sex podcasts, suddenly chimes in to ask about misinformation. Now, this was that live broadcasted Zoom call, all hands on deck. This is them, pretending to be leaders of our great nation. I love it when they do this. It's like watching some civics class doing a practice session. Here it is.
Administrator Criswell.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we concerned about any misinformation or disinformation regarding evacuations that we need to clear up at this point?
There's been a lot of misinformation out there, Madam Vice President, that's for sure. But I have not heard anything specific to the evacuations.
Okay, well, at least there's no specific misinformation regarding the evacuations, but the only misinformation I've ever really seen comes directly from the White House press room with Karine Jean-Pierre. Excuse me, are you concerned about many misinformation at all? Yeah, Kamala. Yeah, that's like really, is that your biggest concern right now? Misinformation? I've been saying this for days. That's all they care about. It's all about narrative control to continue to make them look good. Because the minute the American people start to criticize and share their opinions and the personal videos they shoot from the ineptitude of the government and they post them on social media, then it's misinformation. Banhammer. Banhammer. No free speech for you. This is that video that Tom sent me this morning. See, Tom, I'm giving you a shout out. I'm giving you the shout out. Okay? I love you, man. Kamala can be heard telling an aide who's feeding her questions, live broadcast, before immediately asking the question.
We really got to flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there is a lot of media following this briefing.
Words matter. Words matter. I love it when the left always use these terms. Words matter. Are you monitoring any misinformation? And the best part about these little moments right here is that it's like it can be perfectly staged and scripted because she's got the aide off camera. You can't see the aide, right? Maybe holding up a big cue card, maybe whispering in their remote control device into her earpiece. Who knows? But we're broadcasting live. Pretend you don't see my mouth moving. I'm going to cover my mouth. That's how stupid they think you are. Oh, but it gets worse. It gets worse. Here is Kamala claiming that FEMA's budget passed by Congress each fiscal year needs more resources. In direct contradiction of the head of Department of Homeland Security. Oh, you want to hear it? Here. First, we'll play the DHS guy, Mayorkas, the guy they impeached, right? And then we'll play you Kamala. These guys are not reading off the same talking points.
Do you have everything you need from all the federal departments and the agencies in support of this response? Is there anything lacking?
We certainly do have all of the resources. We are well positioned to continue to respond to Hurricane Helene, to respond to Hurricane Milton. Mr. President, we are meeting the moment and meeting the challenges because of the extraordinary people who've spoken before me.
Yeah, sure. These guys this whole thing feels so scripted and fake. And now here's Kamala.
Constructed around. So FEMA has the resources it needs right now to deal with what has happened in terms of Helene and what we expect in terms of Milton. And we need Congress, when they come back, to put more resources into investing in resilience and adaptation around these extreme weather events. You know, these budgets, so many of them were constructed around a bygone time. And Mike, what you know and all the work you've been doing over the years, if you track the way that this is all happening, it's getting worse. And FEMA's budget and these federal agencies that do this work need the resources to deal with this moment in time. And so I'm looking forward to Congress when they come back taking that seriously and giving them the resources they need to deal with the current moment.
Oh, yeah. But I thought we had everything we needed. So we need more from Congress or we don't? Which one is it, Kamala? Yeah. Are we going to turn the page on that too? Here we have your president, vice president, DHS secretary. This is where they were as Americans were drowning from Hurricane Helene and fleeing for their lives from Hurricane Milton. This is where they were. Yeah, this is Mayorkas out there on a shopping excursion. He's got some nice brand new luxury shoes. Yep. And there's Joe just taking in the sun. Gotta love it. You know, I mean, being president's got to be tough work, especially in the middle of a natural disaster. And knowing you got Kamala Harris working on it. Oh, wait, where's Kamala? Oh, she's having a beer with Colbert. Isn't that nice? Having a beer. Yeah, she's just trying to make it seem like she's a regular old person. Because regular old people go on the late night shows and have beers with Stephen Colbert, right? Unreal. Yeah, but that's the perception they want you to think as Americans are suffering. Kamala has absolutely no clue what to say when she's asked about the cost of homeowners insurance and says twice that she'll be taking a look at all the options.
Dealing with
What role can the federal government play in making not only insurance companies viable, but insurance affordable and available to homeowners?
It's a big issue, Mike. I mean, you know, I was Attorney General for 2 terms in California dealing with this around wildfires. And we've seen it happen in various places around the country, be it floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, or wildfires, where insurance companies are pulling out and homeowners and renters are.
I mean, Kamala knows all about pulling out, but I think we have a reality that the federal government needs to step up here. Okay. So these insurance companies, why are they pulling out of these markets? It's because the federal government isn't doing their job to keep those locations safe enough. Now, if the federal government could step in and clean out all the brush and the dead wood and make sure that these places were not fire zones and make sure that these places were more hurricane resilient and there was actual competent responses to hurricanes, then maybe the insurance companies would have more faith in the free market to insure those locations. But they're not. So what's the answer? Force them to insure these properties? Are we all going to have to be forced to buy homeowners insurance now? Just like it forces to buy healthcare, auto, all that? Yeah. The government's answer is always more force, more government.
Footing the bill, and I'm going to be taking a look at all the options because I know it's a big issue, and you know, folks need help to be able to recover, and it really is. It's life changing in so many tragic ways, and so I will be taking a look at this as we go forward.
Oh, she's just gonna take a look at it, folks. That's it. It's gonna be like one of those pages that she turns. Here we have President Trump going in as the floodwaters rose in North Carolina.
Best city in the Kamala flew to a fundraiser in San Francisco, a city she absolutely destroyed. She destroyed San Francisco. It was the best city in the country, and now it's not good at all. Well, families desperately tried to escape the rising floodwaters, and they climbed onto roofs. They did anything they can to live, but Kamala didn't send any helicopters to rescue them. And when people sent helicopters, they turned them back. And by the way, when Elon sent Starlink, originally they confiscated it, they took it. It took them a long time to get it over there, and it's a disgrace. And he doesn't want to say that, but I'll say it. It was disgraceful what they did. So she didn't send anything or anyone at all. Days passed, no help as men, women, and children drowned. North Carolina has 8 military bases, great bases. Fort Bragg, remember Fort Bragg? They changed the name. We won 2 wars. 2 world wars, actually, to be specific, from Fort Bragg, but they changed the name to, I'm not even going to say it, let's just call it Fort Bragg. I think, what do you think? Has nothing to do with Pennsylvania, but the people of North Carolina would like to leave it as Fort Bragg. Can we do that? Yes? I think so. But they had rescue helicopters that could have easily be sent, and there was just no coordination. I'm not surprised because I've been dealing with them. There's nothing. But instead, Kamala recorded a podcast known for its graphic content. Can you believe it? She did nothing as people struggled and drowned, and day after day, no one came, and it's totally deficient. Fortunately, the private sector kicked in, and they're really helping and doing a good job, I will tell you.
Thank you, President Trump, for pointing that out. And speaking of the private sector, I want to show you something here. This is something that my family was a part of just recently here. I know I've got the video. Where'd it go? I'll find it. Well, maybe I don't. Here it is. This is Chuck Barham revealing 2 semi-trailers packed with donations for Hurricane Helene victims collected by We the People in Omaha, Rockford, and Schaumburg, Illinois. No government help, just Americans being Americans.
Hey, America, my name is Chuck Barham. I'm with freedomsquare.com, freedomchamber.net, and America's Wall of Honor. America's Wall of Honor is usually out on the road, but these 2 semi-trailers you're going to see are more important, doing good for America, because the government's not going to help us. It's up to we the people. So let me show you what's going on real quick. Come right around here. All of this in here was donated in Omaha, Nebraska, and Rockford, Illinois, and we're in Schaumburg, and we're going to be loading up more. This is how it works. America is saved by we the people. It's founded by we the people, and you got to get involved. You can join us at americaswallofhonor.org. Give, Send, Go, America's Wall of Honor Foundation. Money helps keep these things on the road. Let's go, America. It's all about this. We the people. Make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Angie shot that, actually, and our boys were loading up those semis. Now, here we go. We've got this is from Curtis Houck. Straight up Biden-Harris propaganda regarding Milton on ABC's World News Tonight from Wales. David Muir and Disney's North Korean news lady for the Biden-Harris regime. Listen in.
We do have one more note tonight on these hurricanes. President Biden saying federal help will be here for the people of Florida. And he addressed the misinformation late today about the response after Hurricane Helene. He says the falsehoods spread by former President Trump. I want to bring in Mary Bruce. She's live at the White House. Mary, let's listen to what the president said just before we came on the air tonight. We'll get your reaction here on the backside.
Over the last few weeks, there's been reckless and irresponsible and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies about what's going on. It's undermining confidence in the people in Florida. An incredible rescue and recovery work that has been undertaken. Literally, there are thousands of fellow Americans who are putting their lives at stake and putting on the line to do the dangerous work that needs to be done now. And it's harmful to those who most need the help. Quite frankly, these lies are un-American, and there is simply no place for them. Not now, not ever. Former President...
See, it's not lies, Joe. It's not lies. It's people's own personal accounts, people's experiences. And we're reporting on people's personal experiences in your ineptitude to respond. Who shuts down airspace? Who confiscates material? Who does that?
Trump has led this onslaught of lies. They're saying that money needed for these crises are being diverted to migrants. What the heck are they talking about? Stop it. It's outrageous. It's just...
That's a fact. We have pointed out that fact numerous times in old news footage, even from the White House press room, that they have diverted FEMA funds to migrant shelters and relocation. So the disinformation is coming directly from the White House.
Not true.
Mary, President Biden calling these lies un-American.
David, he says these claims are reckless, ridiculous, and that it has to stop. And tonight, he's trying to set the record straight and get the truth across. He is urging those in Milton's path to follow the advice of local officials, to listen to them and to follow all of the safety guidelines and information. And the president is making it clear they are surging resources to the area. There are thousands of federal responders, he says, on the ground, poised to help. The president speaking directly to the American people, saying we have your back and that he and the vice president will be there for as long as it takes. David.
Yeah, good. We'll see about that. Meanwhile, Orion Financial Media, CNN, is reporting through them. Major flooding is underway in Naples. Hurricane Milton rose water levels in Naples to 3.7 feet above dry ground. Fort Myers is looking at 3 feet as well. Winds up to 90 in Sarasota, adding to the chaos. Stay safe and follow for updates. And you can see some of the imagery. Look at that. Massive, massive storm. This is kind of strange, too. This is from John Basham. The NWS dual polarization Doppler radar, their correlation coefficient is showing a large area of biologic or non-hydro returns from just inside the eastern and southern eyewall of Hurricane Milton. This can indicate that birds and insects are trapped inside the eye of the hurricane. Meanwhile, we have Joe Biden, of course. You know, he was at that hurricane response briefing from his child-sized desk. ALX tweeting that Joe Biden has once again been evicted back to the Fisher-Price White House, presumably as punishment for his recent antics to make Kamala Harris look bad. That's a reference to him overshadowing her on The View. And we have President Trump some more. Let's see. Look at this tornado. Look at this massive tornado by Clewiston. This is a massive tornado that was, I believe, on the west coast of Florida. And there was absolute devastation in its wake. I know we have some video of that devastation. I've never seen anything quite like it, to be honest with you. But before I show you that, this is something beautiful. This is Eric Trump tweeting out that he's honored to have 275 incredible linemen from Florida Power and Light staying at Trump Doral. Donald Trump opened up his hotel to let these guys come and stay as they're getting ready to respond. And he reminds them that they are in the best rooms in Florida. That hotel, I've stayed there, amazing hotel. I know exactly where they are. Beautiful place. And the Trumps are making sure that these guys are comfortable because they've got a long road ahead of them, restoring power to all of these areas. Continuing on, lots to get to here. With Hurricane Milton approaching, someone actually left their dog. Look at this. Tied to a pole on I-75 near Tampa. Brian, go vertical, please.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Look at that. They just tied their dog up and left the dog. It's kind of a metaphor for what the federal government does, isn't it? So of course, Kamala claiming FEMA's budget passed by Congress needs more resources. There she is doing her thing. And this is Biden back at the fake White House again. Go horizontal, please. Yeah. How embarrassing. Why did they put him at this baby desk? Well, we've seen this before. It's rather embarrassing. They couldn't get him a bigger desk. I don't understand it. Why is he at a Fisher-Price sized child's desk? Does he have Crayola too? There's that hurricane. Okay, so this is the devastation. Look at this. This is St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office takes a direct hit from a large tornado just ahead of the Hurricane Milton landfall. Significant damage. Look at this footage here. Unreal. I mean, it's just twisted metal. police cars, and these are your first responders. These are the guys that have to go out and help, and they are now completely kneecapped by the storm. They're not going to get those cars out. And that looks like there's probably a good, 20 or 30 squad cars, and they're trapped, which is going to make recovery even harder. Oh, this is great too. Did you know that Kamala, she knows she's now a meteorologist? Did you know that? She was trained in that field. Not really. But listen to this clip, and I want you to tell me. You tell me, is she reading off a script? Now, she's phoned this in, and I can only imagine that she's sitting there reading off a piece of paper.
Because the other point, Mike, that I would make, especially came through on the briefing from the federal experts, it's really important that we think about the language that we're using to talk about what we are predicting. Because, for example, it has moved from time to time from a Category 5 to a Category 4. It's important that we not emphasize that downgrading has happened because, in fact, the difference between Category 5 and Category 4 in terms of the danger and the damage is pretty much the same. The other point, Mike, that I would make...
Yeah, because Category 5 is bigger. And in terms of bigger, it's actually larger than 4. Because 4 is actually smaller than 5. And that therefore means, in the context of numbers, because numbers, they're solid things, but they can be different when they're not the same. Right? So when you think in terms of hurricanes, a 4 versus a 5 could be very different, but almost the same if they were equal. Right? That's a Kamala Harris response. Holy cow, this woman makes it too easy. Oh, and just hours before hurricane, this was bizarre. Just hours before Hurricane Milton set to strike, residents in several neighborhoods witnessed an eerie spectacle. Groups of sandhill cranes were gathering and emitting sharp and urgent calls as if signaling the need to flee. Go vertical, please, Brian. They know what's up. They know what's going on there. It's like, you see or you hear these stories about when like large groups of animals are fleeing a location prior to an earthquake or a volcano or something. I mean, these birds are probably super tuned to pressure changes. They recognize this massive pressure change and they're warning their friends, get the hell out. Right? That's what's happening, I think, now. Here's Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Look at this. This is the tornado that ripped through, leaving a path of absolute destruction in its wake. Look at these visuals. This is a tornado on the west coast of Florida. Cars upside down. Total devastation. I mean, cars in front yards. This is unbelievable. The cleanup from this is going to be horrible. So this was the warning regarding those tornadoes. Look at that line of tornadoes. That whole area. 50 plus tornado warnings issued in Florida due to the hurricane, which could make landfall as early as 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, it's past that now. If it continues moving at 17 miles per hour towards the coast, the eye will likely land at or south of Tampa Bay. So pray for Florida. Right Angle News Network also posting the eye of Hurricane Milton is now just off the East Coast. This was 5 hours ago. Landfall, imminent, intense winds and rain are already lashing the region. Look at this footage. Holy cow. You're kidding me. Wow. It looks like, okay, it looks like that video got a community note. Looks like some of these are, it's a hodgepodge. I was kind of watching that and going, this seems like pretty intense video montage of a variety of different events. That was my gut as I was watching it, and I was listening to the audio at the same time that kept flowing. It was consistent through every scene, which made me think somebody had added a audio track over it. Well, now it's clear this community note was added after I had selected this, but it looks like we got a montage of videos here. So you got to be careful with what's being published with respect to what is actually online. Now, I don't know if I would call this outright misinformation that the government is warning about, that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are freaking out about. They're more or less, they're pissed off about Trump saying that they suck in their response. That's the misinformation. They don't like the fact that Trump is pointing out that they redirected funds. I don't think they're worried about some TikToker who takes a montage of videos and puts it out there and says, look at all the damage. I don't think that those two are the same. Vigilant Fox, Hurricane Milton so powerful it's expected to forever change Florida's coastline. Go horizontal, please, Brian. Hurricane Milton so powerful it is expected to forever change Florida's coastline. At least 95% of Florida's west coast beaches are forecast to be inundated or continuously covered by ocean water, according to USGS. Look at this footage here. This TikToker states that Floridians who have lived through storms their entire lives are reporting to have never witnessed anything quite like this. And as you can see, there's a caption at the bottom that this was posted. This was recorded for 2 minutes straight, and it was like this for the entire time. It was not modified or sped up. This is the frequency of the lightning, high frequency of the lightning intervals happening right there. President Trump sending his love and
I also want to send our love to everyone in Florida. They're going through a big one tonight. It's going to arrive tonight sometime around midnight, a little before midnight, and we're praying for them and asking God to keep them all safe, all those people. I've never seen a hurricane like that. I don't know. It's so often, they talk about it and they talk because they want you to watch. This is the real deal. This is a bad one. And we have some great governors, great Republican governors that are in charge, and I think they'll do a phenomenal job. I think they're going to do a phenomenal job.
You didn't say Ron DeSantis' name. I don't know why. Hurricane Milton is showing us what hurricanes look like in a world with hurricane season. Chris Martz making a clear distinction between Chase Kane's point. The Hurricane Milton is showing us what hurricanes look like in a world heated up by burning fossil fuels. Yeah, see, this is the standard narrative that's presented by the left. They want to blame CO2, the air that you breathe, the air you exhale, as the cause of these hurricanes. And compound that with fossil fuels. Bad, dangerous fossil fuels. Yes, this is the narrative. It always is.
Less than 24 hours.
But, of course, we are here to correct that.
Chase Kane out in Orlando. And Chase, there is a nexus to this. You know it. Bill knows it. And that is the climate connection here, because this thing got so big so quickly, partly because of how warm the water is in the Gulf caused by climate change.
Yeah, I mean, Bill was just talking about this rapid intensification that Milton is breaking all sorts of records, the second fastest to go from a Category 1 to a Category 5 hurricane. So here's some context on that. The regular threshold for rapid intensification is 35 miles an hour in wind speed increase in less than 24 hours. Extreme rapid intensification, which is a relatively new term that meteorologists are using, that's 58 miles an hour in 24 hours. But look at what Milton did, 92 mile an hour increase in less than 24 hours. And that is one of the hallmark signatures of what climate change is doing to hurricanes, Hallie.
Oh, man. I wonder if his wife's boyfriend feels the same. Here we have this guy. This is where the left reveals their true colors. It's moments like this. This guy named Austin Foreman AFF. I'm not familiar with him. But this woman Lisa, posted a video of this guy from his TikTok account. And Lisa notes that she's met many people that just didn't like, and presidents that didn't think had the good sense that God gave them to get out of the shower of rain, but never have I wished the person to be unalived by a bullet or a hurricane like this woman did. So this guy, Austin, is pointing out what Susan did. Brian, go vertical, please. We'll bring it up and see for yourself. Watch this.
Everybody. So I just got home from work to wind down and decompress. And what do I see just come across my For You page? I'm logging off.
Do you see what that was? That was somebody who was praying that Mar-a-Lago get wiped out by Hurricane Milton. Somebody posted that on TikTok. That's the level of sickness that the left has. They still are wishing death and destruction upon those that they politically disagree with. This guy's calling them out on his account. Here's a tale of two leaders. Brian, go horizontal. DeSantis on the left, helping Florida get ready for Hurricane Milton. And on the right, it's Kamala Harris drinking a beer with Stephen Colbert. One is a leader, and the other is an absolute joke. Something really cool happened. I saw this really cool. What Elon Musk is doing with Starlink. It's not just about like delivering Starlink devices. They have fast-track technology to connect Starlink directly to cellular phones. So you don't even need to have a satellite dish. I'm assuming you probably have to download an app, a Starlink app or something, and then you can make phone calls through Starlink, bypassing the entire cellular structure on planet Earth. Your phone call goes right to the satellite direct. I mean, this is going to make satellite phones in emergencies obsolete. You know, that's one major piece of equipment you need in times like this. But if Starlink can give you an app and you pay $5.99 a month just for access in emergencies, isn't that worth it? I don't know. I mean, I'd pay for it. I'm not saying that's what it is, but clearly Starlink has stepped up to do this. In addition to the thousands of Starlink kits we're delivering in response to Hurricane Helene, the Starlink team and T-Mobile activated our direct-to-cell satellites to provide emergency alerts for all phones and carriers of those in affected areas. All phones and carriers. So it doesn't even matter if you're AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever. Verizon, doesn't matter. Bypasses it all. That's amazing. Amazing technology. This guy, Elon Musk, is a freaking wizard. And I'm glad he's on our team. Here's a Charlotte Harbor underwater. Milton, 2 hours offshore. That was 4 hours ago. 9 to 13-foot storm surge expected in Sarasota.
Approach into the west central Florida coastline. It's less than 50 miles offshore now as the crow flies, but again, it's all about the angle of attack and how it comes in. But we will see a landfall likely in the next couple of hours or so, 2 to 3 hours. We'll see. But I'm in Charlotte Harbor right now, but literally standing in Charlotte Harbor, which has taken over the parking area here at the Sunseeker in Port Charlotte. Places like Punta Gorda, we know Port Charlotte, forecasting 8 to 10 feet of storm surge. We had over 6 with Helene. And if you remember with Ian went to our south, so the winds were offshore, so we didn't get this storm surge. So here's 2 huge storm surge events in this area in just a couple of weeks. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori, and we continue our coverage of Milton. Again, twice Category 5 hurricane, boggling the mind with some of the things that it did in terms of deepening. But now it's about, have you prepared? Are you ready? We're seeing the power outages mount. We've had wind gusts 60, 70 miles an hour now around Bradenton, and power outages now more than 300,000. That number is only going up. We've got flood warnings, and we also have an extreme wind warning across the area where you're going to see the eye wall come in. There's plenty of stuff to talk about. We asked you to evacuate. We're here to take you through it. All right? And obviously, with the water that's coming in here, we're obviously ready to move to higher ground.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, Jim. This is the post Elon Musk made. We have accelerated the rollout of Starlink direct-to-cell phone connectivity for areas affected. This is being provided free of charge by SpaceX and T-Mobile to help those in need. Accelerated the rollout. Gunther Eagleman pointing DeSantis owning Kamala Harris's continuous politicization of Hurricane Milton. Remember that post I showed you at the beginning of this segment? With Kamala, like on a plane, like doing a photo op with the mayor of St. Petersburg. Yeah, that's politicization of this disaster. And DeSantis has had enough of it.
Interested. And I heard what you said about Vice President Harris and the phone call. Did she ever get through?
You know, Brett, like I said, my job is to marshal resources and work with everybody to have an effective response. And she thinks it should be about her. If I honestly thought that there was something to be gained, I would pick up the phone and call her. The fact of the matter is she has no role in this process. She's not part of the chain of command. I am working with President Biden and FEMA and our state and local partners, and we're getting the job done. She has never been interested in any of the storms we've had in the state of Florida for her entire time as vice president. Now she's out there attacking me because I'm not catering to her whims. All she's trying to do is inject herself to be a part of her political campaign. I don't have time for political games. We've got a job to do. We got people's lives on the line, and that is our sole focus.
Well, most importantly, hopefully everyone gets through this okay. We're praying for your state. Governor, we appreciate the time.
Thanks.
No, thank you, Governor DeSantis. Here's my buddy Jack Lombardi. He's out there in Cape Coral. Breaking a tornado from Hurricane Milton was just captured on a live feed from Matlachaca, roughly 3 miles west of his location. No audio on this clip, but you can see the tornado kind of make it out there on the right side, I believe, ripping through. Can you imagine if that was happening outside? I hope that you guys are safe. If you're in Florida, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys evacuated. Remember, Samaritan's Purse, my friends, is where you need to donate. Also, America's Wall of Honor, Moms for America, they are all part of that relief effort, and it's going to be doubling. It's going to be doubling their effort now. This what we played for you earlier this is all going to Hurricane Helene. What kind of response is going to be needed now for Milton? I've never seen anything like it. I think you might be able to see my kids in this clip somewhere. I don't know, but they were there loading up those trucks. God bless them. Got to show them. Got to teach these young ones. You know, we all got to stick together. We all got to help each other, and just pray for everybody. Okay, pray for everybody. Even pray for the incompetent leadership we have at the top. Pray that they get their act together. All right? And they stop playing political games. Stop staging photo ops and Zoom calls to make everybody think they're actually doing something. How about you just do something? How about you all get out of your offices? How about that? How about you get out of your offices? Look at them all, nice in their cushy offices. How about you get out of your office and go actually help people? This is all a waste of time. With all the technology we have these days, I could coordinate a better hurricane response. So, as Milton continues its rampage, one thing is clear. Our leaders are as unprepared as ever. While Kamala Harris sips beer on late-night television, Floridians are fighting for their lives. But here's the question, America. How many more disasters will it take before we demand real leadership, before we hold these people accountable? Are we content with politicians who prioritize photo ops over preparedness? Share your thoughts in the comments. It's time for a complete overhaul of our disaster response system, wouldn't you say? Comment below.